5,000 years before Realm Reborn, there was a hyper-advanced empire that ruled over the three great continents, known as Allag. Its crowning jewel was the Crystal Tower, a Jolly Rancher-based spire that stored the power of the sun to create wonders. Allag was so advanced, in fact, that its people became sadistic and lazy due to excess, something one could only imagine in fiction. Until one day a super mega genius Chad named Amon, a character whose name you will likely forget and will never be relevant again, decided to go full mad scientist and bring a power-hungry ancient ruler of Allag named Xande back to life, through the power of cloning. Xande, having just borne witness to the oblivion of self that is death, was unsurprisingly suffering from some seriously nihilistic PTSD, and decided the cure was rampant bloodshed and warfare. Starting with the definitely not Australia-based island of Mericidia, home to trees, people, and tree people, as well as two of the first brood, Bahamut and Tiamat. Xande and his armies did a hell of a number on Mericidia, including slaying Bahamut, a decision that would never come back to haunt anyone. Just then, their decision came back to haunt them, as in their grief, the dragons of Mericidia summoned a primal version of Bahamut, which wrecked Allag's shit, until Xande and his crew discovered how to contact and make pacts with the Void, also known as the World of Darkness, also known as the 13th reflection of Hydaelyn. It has a lot of names, it's not important. It's very important. Moving on. Making a pact with the Voidsent Queen, the Cloud of Darkness, resulted in an army of Voidsent wrecking Mericidia's shit and defeating the primal Bahamut, who Allag then sealed inside a giant metal sphere, that juicy red orb we know as the moon, Dalamud, and yeeted it up into space to help power the Crystal Tower. Having finally won and got everything he wanted, Xande did as all nihilistic edgelords do and decided to end the world. Using the energy being stored in the Crystal Tower in Dalamud, Xande intended to form a permanent portal for the Voidsent to flood through and destroy the planet. But Allag had its own heroes who formed a resistance that made its way to the gates of the Crystal Tower. But before they could stop him, Xande pressed the big red button. Problem was that all the energy being sent by Dalamud was way more than the Crystal Tower could handle, and instead of making a portal, the energy was redirected into the surrounding land, causing the mother of all earthquakes, which broke the land and ultimately would come to be known as the Fourth Umbral Calamity. Saving the day for the bad guys, Amon played Time Wizard to pause causality within the Crystal Tower as it sank below the ground, not to be seen again for multiple astral eras. But let's flash forward a bit. No, wait, too far! There we go. After the 7th Umbral Calamity caused by the releasing of Bahamut from Dalamud, the Crystal Tower rose from beneath the earth. 5 years later, after dealing with their own encounters with Bahamut and saving the realm from the Allagan nightmare of Ultima, the Warrior of Light meets a man who definitely isn't Nero, who directs them to Cid and the Sons of St. Koinak, who seek to explore the now-arisen Crystal Tower. Meeting up with Cid, the Warrior of Light is warned of the dangerous shit that might be inside the tower, and that is protected by barriers impossible to pass through. So naturally, the Warrior of Light gathers the supplies to pass through them, meeting up with Biggs and Wedge along the way, and in the process comes upon a mysterious disembodied voice that in the most extra way possible challenges the Warrior of Light in order to get the supplies that they need. Upon returning with the needed things, the identity of the overly theatric voice is revealed as the most wondrous, stupendous, extra-ass hetero... chromatic Mikote scholar fanboy extraordinaire that is Graha, who promptly comes up with a dumb acronym-based name for the group. Nominal Observers of Artifacts Historical, or NOAA. With crystals and Catboy in hand, the Warrior of Light shatters the barrier and marches on into the structure that surrounds the base of the Crystal Tower, the Labyrinth of the Ancients. Smacking aside Voidsent and Beasties, the Warrior of Light rides an elevator up to face Titan from Final Fantasy III, aka Phlegethon, the Allagan hero. With the way clear to the Crystal Tower, the NOAA group prepares for the next part of their ascent. As they do, the strange man from before walks towards the Crystal Tower, revealing in a totally unexpected twist that nobody saw coming that it is in fact Nero Tolskavia. With NOAA meeting back up, they are happened upon by two totally normal strangers with Allagan clothing, Allagan names, red eyes of the Royal Allagan line, and deep knowledge of Allagan history only knowable by those who lived during that time. This is Une and Doga, who are definitely not clones. The group makes its way to the front gates of the Crystal Tower, which is locked, until Une and Doga reveal that they can open the way, and as they do, Nero arrives to reveal a secret that has been kept all of 10 minutes, in that Une and Doga are in fact clones of Allagan royalty that existed 5,000 years ago, and were made by Amon as tests for bringing back Xande. Awakening with the rise of the Crystal Tower, they remain with but one purpose, to stop Xande from fulfilling his plan to bring the world to nothingness, and restore the Crystal Tower to the bastion of hope it was meant to be. Having a red eye of his own, and not wanting to be left out of the plot twist, Graha wonders if he's also a clone, to which Doga responds, "It ain't that kind of story, kid." And the party prepares to enter the Crystal Tower, or known by its proper name, Syracuse Tower. Charging up the stairs, fighting past dog-headed ladies, Jimbro fanatics, and the theatrics-loving, hat-wearing, sadistic being nightmare of a man that is Amon, the Warrior of Light arrives at the tower's zenith and faces off against Xande, who goes night-night, as Une and Doga attempted to seal the rift between Hydaelyn and the Void. But since nothing can ever go to plan, the Void fissure tears open wider and failed copies of the two Allagans spill out. As Destined Death begins to pull in Une and Doga, the Warrior of Light has the most inconvenient echo vision possible, witnessing Xande muse on just how depressed he really is. The Warrior of Light is just in time to come back to the present to see Nero go after Une and Doga, only to be pulled into the portal too. As the three are swallowed up and the portal closes behind them, the remaining members of Noah share one thought. Shit. Seeking to find a way to save their friends, the Noah crew comes up with the brilliant idea to use Xande's plan and open a gateway to the world of darkness, in order to journey in and pull their friends out. Before opening the gate, Graha pulls the Warrior of Light aside, trying not to fanboy out too much, and asks to join them on their final adventure into the world of darkness. The Warrior of Light, now having become a JoJo character with his stand in tow, charges once more into the breach. With Graha Tia by their side, they fight through giant eyeballs, many-headed hydras, and a demon dog way too into vor, and more, before arriving at the Cloud of Darkness herself and striking her down. Finding Une and Doga and a physically corrupted Nero, the two Allagans explain their plan to defeat the Cloud of Darkness while the rest escape. They also give Graha an upgrade, awakening the full Allagan eye within him, and the power to control the Crystal Tower along with it. Fleeing the scene, the Warrior of Light, Nero, and Graha reach the portal back to the Realm of Light. On the way, Graha gets an Obi-Wan Kenobi moment as a ghost of the past speaks to him about what the Crystal Tower was originally meant to be, and Nero falls behind due to his corruption. Which is conveniently lifted thanks to the seeming success of Une and Doga. With the portal closing, Nero throws himself into it too late, only to be caught by the hand of Sid and GAY! With everyone back in the Realm of Light, they celebrate and commiserate over the loss of Une and Doga. As everyone turns to leave, Graha Tia, not at all suspiciously, turns to the Warrior of Light and thanks them for all they have done. With everyone, save a certain Mikote, back at base, a random member of the Sons of St. Koinak runs up and warns everyone Graha is up to something. As everyone runs to the Crystal Tower's front door, they are told to halt. Graha, now able to see the history of the tower, tells the group of its role in the past as a bastion of hope, and the reason he had the blood of Allag within him in the first place was due to an Allagan princess imparting her blood and power in her faithful confidant, a Mikote, who was Graha's great-great-grandpappy, so that the keys to reopen the tower might live on, should it ever return. One would think a traditional key would have been much simpler, but hey, who am I to challenge the wisdom of the Allagans? Graha's destiny, despite his love of adventure, was now to guard the Crystal Tower, but he asked that all of the others of the group go out and forge a better future, where hope would shine. The Warrior of Light most of all. With Graha certain that they would have a grand role to play in the birth of a better world. Everyone promised to do just that and live up to his dream as they say their goodbyes. And with that, the doors close, and time within the tower halts once again. Gates that wouldn't open for many years to come. About 6 years to be exact. But unless you played before 5.3, you probably don't need me to explain this since you are now obligated to go through it. Enjoy your cue! Sometime later, Nero stands at the edge of the labyrinth of the ancients and throws his aether detector into its pit. As he leaves, it plays a single note, which is a brilliant setup in reference to the dungeon Eureka from Final Fantasy III, which resided beneath the Crystal Tower and... Wait, what? What do you mean Eureka is an island? This content was brought to you by the Eorzean Archives. If you enjoyed this video, help us please the 12 by leaving a like and subscribing for new content every Thursday. And comment down below with any topic you'd like to see our archons cover in the future. For even more content, discussion, and exclusives, please check out our Discord and consider supporting us on Patreon.